Good Wednesday evening, everyone. We are live. It is Wednesday, of course, and we'd like you to please press that thumbs up button, comment where you're from, and share this with your friends and family because we have a lot more severe weather to go through uh, beyond today. We have Thursday, we have Friday, Saturday, and we have possibly a very significant severe weather outbreak coming on Sunday. That's going to lead into basically that's the end of the event, but it's going to end with a bang, it looks like. So let's take a look at the severe weather for tonight. Basically, the severe weather is confined down here towards Texas in through Louisiana, including Shreveport to Monroe area. We do have a tornado watch out and a severe thunderstorm watch out, and I'll show you that here in just a second. Up here towards Arkansas, southern Missouri, we're in a marginal risk all the way up through most of Kentucky, Tennessee, all the way up to New England, that is. So severe thunderstorms remain possible this evening from central Texas to the Arklatex, basically, in northern Mississippi or northern Louisiana as well. Up all the way up to northeastern Ohio to western Pennsylvania. And isolated severe thunderstorms may persist overnight from the mid-south all the way to the northeast during the United States. Okay, so the main risk for tonight, there's going to be a few areas with some tornado potential, 5 to 9%. This was updated at almost 8 o'clock. So 5 to 9% chance of tornadoes in parts of Texas in through northern Louisiana. 5 to 9% probability of a tornado within 25 miles of any given point. And then in the green, 2 to 4% probability within 25 miles of any given point. And the most significant risk here is the hail in excess of 2 inches in diameter in these hatched areas in parts of Texas in through parts of Louisiana. And that's just for tonight. So as we go into Thursday, let me pull that information up real quick. So got an enhanced risk of severe thunderstorms from central Nebraska into northern Kansas, eastward into towards parts of southern or southwestern Missouri, slight risk, most of Arkansas, all the way over to Memphis, northwestern Mississippi, northern parts of Texas, pretty much all of Oklahoma, besides the Oklahoma Panhandle, of course, and most of Kansas. So severe thunderstorms are expected across parts of the central and southern plains into the mid-south on Thursday. Damaging winds, damaging hail, and a couple of tornadoes will be possible. The greatest concentration of severe wind, we're probably talking 70 to 80 mile per hour winds, is expected over parts of Nebraska into northern Kansas late tomorrow. Gusts could be over 80 miles per hour across that area. So let's take a look at a few of these risks here for tomorrow. Big 5 to 9% probability of a tornado within 25 miles of any given point is including Little Rock or to Fort Smith, to Tulsa, Oklahoma City, and up towards Wichita as well. And the green extends all the way over towards Memphis. So 2 to 4% probability of a tornado across that way. And then we get into the wind. This is the area up here in Nebraska into Kansas that could see some wind gusts in excess of 80 miles per hour, as this will be late tomorrow, of course. And then here's the hail threat. Huge, severe hail threat, significant hail threat all the way through Oklahoma into parts of Texas, through central Kansas, up into Nebraska. So 2 inches in diameter hail is possible, greater than 2 inches in diameter, which are lime size. And we've seen cases over the last few days of baseball size, golf ball size. We've had some softball size hail out there, and that will do significant damage across the area. So then we're not done. So it kind of slackens off a little bit on Friday. This is a day 3 outlook for Friday, of course. Marginal risk, most of Arkansas through Missouri and all of Illinois, over towards western Tennessee, western Kentucky. Maybe some isolated wind gusts in excess of 60 miles an hour, maybe some hail, and maybe an outside chance of a tornado on Friday. And then the severe weather really ramps up again on Saturday. Missouri, Arkansas, Oklahoma into Kansas. Winds probably in excess of 70 miles an hour. Big time hail in excess of 2 inches in diameter, and tornadoes is possible. And then the last day is going to be coming in with a bang here across northeastern parts of Arkansas, the Boot Hill, Missouri, over towards parts of Tennessee, into Kentucky, into southern Illinois and southern Indiana. This could be a tornado outbreak that's coming on Sunday. So here's your early look. Here's the bullseye as of right now. This could change. Of course, we are 4 days, almost 4 days away here from Sunday. So we're getting into Memorial Weekend here. There's going to be a lot of people have plans. You need to think about what's going to happen with the weather, because Sunday could be a very significant severe weather day across northeastern Arkansas into Tennessee, Kentucky, and the Boot Heel of Missouri, southeastern Missouri, that is. Okay. So all modes will be possible that day. Significant tornadoes look or appear likely at this point. So stay tuned on that. All right. So here's the latest watches and warnings that we have right now. This is as of 9/21. So we have a tornado watch still in effect, basically for the Woodlands down here in Texas to Killeen, possibly Waco here. This goes until for another 2 hours and 38 minutes. So it goes until midnight. And then we have a severe thunderstorm watch up here for northwestern parts of Louisiana. It goes until 11 o'clock, including Monroe area. We have a lot of followers down in Monroe over towards Shreveport, and they've already seen some big hail over here in Shreveport. There's a 2 inch in diameter hail here in parts of Shreveport. This was at 7 o'clock this evening. So lots of hail at the moment. Let's go over. Let me turn all this off first. Then we'll go into future radar, so you guys can look at that, and then we will get into some of this live weather, because, like I said, we have a lot of followers down here in northern parts of Louisiana. Alrighty, so let's get into future radar. Oops, wrong thing. Bear with me here. All right, we're going to go back to 00Z because it has, you can go out to 48 hours. So that's centered okay. All right. Hopefully everyone can see my screen okay. I've been trying last few days, especially 2 days ago, it was really blurry for the lives, and hopefully I've gotten that corrected over the last few days. So I do apologize on that. Hopefully it's a lot clearer today. We're working on a few other things coming up as well. So bear with us. Like I said, we're starting these lives. We're going to start doing this more often with all this severe weather that's happening lately. So this is as of later tonight. So big complex of storms is coming through parts of basically training through parts of northern Louisiana through most of tonight, and then that's going to die out, and then more storms could be possible. There's some isolated storms as we get towards 4 to 5 o'clock in the morning across parts of Missouri, to some spotty showers and storms here and there. Then we're going to have a little bit more of a complex of storms possibly develop as we get towards sunrise along the Red River here, across Oklahoma into Arkansas and northeastern Texas. And then that will start diving southeast and and then Monroe, we're going to get smacked again tomorrow afternoon. And then more severe weather is possible across parts of Texas with the complex trying to come in. And then some storminess out here in Tennessee. This is at 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And then, there's going to be a ton of rain down here in parts of Louisiana and southern Arkansas into Texas over the next few days, especially with these consistent training of storms coming through the area here. So, as you can see, we get to 6 o'clock tomorrow night, and there is still nothing going on in Kansas, Nebraska, into Oklahoma, but that will change as we get towards mid tomorrow evening after about 7 or 8 o'clock. You see some supercells trying to develop out here towards Kansas. And then as we get towards 10, 11 o'clock, there's really still nothing going on. And then here comes this big, nasty line that's going to deliver a lot of wind damage as we get into Iowa, possibly into Nebraska, and then it's going to start moving southeast through Kansas, and then get into possibly southern Missouri into northern Arkansas early on Friday morning, and then basically starts right back up again. So we got more storms developing back here. This is Friday evening. So supercells back here into parts of Texas, into Oklahoma, spotting storms here in Arkansas. Big Boeing complex of storms could be coming through parts of Tennessee. So as you can see, it's going to be a very active period over the next few days across this area. All right. So how much rain are we going to be getting? I'm going to pull this up. I'm going to go back to radar here, get back down to parts of Louisiana. There is a lot of power outages too across parts of Texas as well. So right around Waco, there's some counties here that are almost 30 to 40% out of power. Shreveport, there's about 5,000 people out of power in that county, and with some of these storms that are coming through the area here. So trying to get this radar to pull up. There we go. Monroe, you're really getting socked in with a lot of storminess as of right now. There's probably going to be some flooding, flash flooding, if this keeps up as well. Let me turn back the warnings. So here's the warnings as of right now across the area. Most of these are just some severe thunderstorm warnings. No, there's a tornado possible tag on this one up here in parts of northeastern Texas. But I'm going to stay with this at the moment, and then I'm going to pull up your see how much rain we're expecting over the next few days. All right. Hopefully everyone can see that okay. So this is over basically through the weekend, Sunday or into Monday. Lots of storminess. I tell you what, there's going to be some isolated 5 to 6 inch amounts down here through Texas into parts of northern Louisiana, especially if that latest run of the HRRR comes true, because training of storms coming through. And I'll tell you what, the atmosphere is juiced because a storm came through where I'm at in parts of northern Arkansas today, and we got a quick 3/4 of an inch of rain in about 15 minutes. So some of these storms are really packing a punch. And you get those storms consistently over the same area, there's going to be some 5, 6 inch amounts somewhere, probably in northern parts of Louisiana over the next few days and into Texas. Now, as we get these complexes of storms that keep coming and coming and coming across parts of Texas or Tennessee into Kentucky, we're probably looking at that 3 to 5 inches of rain out that way too. So a general 1 to 3 over most of the area. Like I said, there's going to be some isolated spots that get 3, 4, maybe 5 inches of rain, maybe 6 in localized areas. Just all depends on where the train of storms sets up and just continues to go over the same areas. All right. Okay. So let's get into the latest warnings here. We'll start out here in Louisiana. We have a severe thunderstorm warning for Lincoln, Jackson, Claiborne, and Bennyville Parish in Louisiana. And back here in Texas, Cherokee, Nacogdoches, and Rusk, Texas is a destructive storm down that way. 80-mile-per-hour winds. Let's go into this storm. I think it's into this storm. Yeah. So we have a very destructive, nasty storm coming into Hopefully, I'm saying that right. Nacogdoches, up towards Timpson, the center. Destructive damage is possible with 80-mile-per-hour winds. This goes for another 30 minutes. So let's zoom in here. Mount Enterprise to over towards center into Carthage. Some nasty winds going to be coming into those areas shortly here. Now let's go up to this storm. Tornado possible tag on this one. We're getting into a radar, basically southeastern Louisiana or southeastern Oklahoma, northeastern Texas, a little bit of radar hole here. But there is a tornado possible tag with this one. You can see the signature, basically, the hooking. The storm is hooking back into parts of this area. So let's look at basically Carterville over towards Pleasant Hill. This is in Texas. Red Hill, Gum Springs, Douglasville, Panhandle, over Cup Landing. Some nasty storms coming through here. Tornado possible, 60-mile-per-hour winds. Let's take a look at velocity, see what that looks like on this one. You see there's some broad rotation right in here as we get towards just east of Midway and towards Carterville. So nothing too concerning as of yet, but you stay up on the weather there. But you're still going to get a nasty storm here that's coming into parts of that area. So the most destructive storm right now is in Texas. The Cherokee, Nacogdoches, and Rusk County in Texas. 80-mile-per-hour winds possible with this storm that's coming in the area. So Garrison over to Tipton or Tipson to center. You're going to get blasted with very very strong winds up to 80 miles per hour, and there's going to be some possible significant damage if that occurs. We've had some damage down here, back here towards Grapeland, Texas. Reports of several trees down. So lots of trees down across this area as well. Let's go over towards Louisiana. Excuse me. So Grambling to Ruston, you have a severe thunderstorm warning right now, 60-mile-per-hour winds. This is moving east, of course. So next in line here, let's put this in motion real quick. Yeah, this is basically skirting right along I-20. So if you're in West Monroe over towards Sterlington, you're going to be in for another nasty storm over the next hour or so as this gets into your area. And then we have another one right behind that, but this one's kind of out by itself. So this one needs to be watched a little bit more carefully because there is some broad rotation with this one. So Ringgold over to Castor. This is in Louisiana. Here's severe thunderstorm warning, but this one needs to be watched. And there is a lot of wind coming in with this one around Grambling to Ruston. Sorry, I'm bouncing all over the place, I know, but when I see stuff, I'm going to go over to it. So it looks like about 60-mile-per-hour winds possible coming into Ruston here shortly. This is all in Louisiana. But like I said, the biggest storm right now is back here towards Nacogdoches and Tipson into center with 80-mile-per-hour winds. Destructive damage could be possible with this storm out this way. So Lisa, Friday will probably be the better day to travel, but there's still going to be storms around. Even though there's a marginal threat, there's still going to be some severe weather that day. I've seen some. I hope this doesn't happen, but I've seen some big tornadoes in marginal threat days. So we will see how this works. Daniel, I think we're going to start drying out next week, just for a little bit, though. Just for a little bit. Yeah, Shreveport got absolutely crushed earlier. Looks like they had a report of a lime-size hail here. This is in Shreveport. This is at 7 o'clock, so I'm sure there was some damage with this. New severe thunderstorm warning just east of Ruston now. Over towards Douglas, Tremont, Frosttown to Forksville. This severe thunderstorm warning doesn't include Monroe yet, but 60-mile-per-hour winds and 1-inch hail is possible. And we just saw that in velocity, so it still could happen. Some of these storms that came through parts of Arkansas earlier, there's still power outages up here. Lee County, 22% of the county is out of power. Mississippi County, 644. Jonesboro, Craighead County, 716 people out. Parts of Mississippi, there's some people out up here. Almost 10% in Quitman County. So, like I said, these storms are long lasting, and there's, like I said, where these tornadoes came through in parts of Iowa yesterday. There's Adams County, 41% still out of power from yesterday, and big tornadoes. I think one that went through Greenfield was a nasty one, and there's it. I mean, it looks to me, I'm not one that's surveying it, but it looked like it was at least EF4 damage that went through that town. But there is a lot of people still out of power up in parts of Iowa. All right, let's get back down here. Like I said, if you're just out joining us, parts of Texas here, towards the Louisiana border here, we have a very dangerous severe thunderstorm coming into the area. Tips into center. destructive thunderstorm warning is, it's ongoing here. 80-mile-per-hour winds is possible. So that's over hurricane force. Sorry, just trying to check some other radar sites here, see if I can get anything closer here. Yeah, we're kind of in a. This one may be a little bit better, but I'm in a radar hole again here. Hopefully, eventually, we'll get these radar holes fixed. Eventually, I hope. We'll check back on this storm because still a tornado possible tag on this one. Just broad rotation with this one up in northeastern parts of Texas, Douglasville, the Linden. Still going to get some nasty winds with this. Down here towards Ringgold. Like some broad rotation with this one as well. But Ruston is getting smashed with some very heavy winds at the moment. This is all in parts of Louisiana. So I believe this radar, where this radar beam took, it's probably about 3,000 feet or so up. So 3,000 feet off the ground, it's reading about 70-mile-per-hour winds coming into Ruston. So good chance at 60-mile-per-hour winds at the surface. And this is going to continue along I-20 and going to skirt right into Monroe probably the next hour or so. Like I said, across northern Louisiana here, this ain't going to be one and done kind of thing. You're going to have trains of storms come through the same areas here. We have storms still in Texas that are going to come across northern parts of Louisiana and southern Arkansas later. So, like I said, there's going to be a flood threat, I do believe. Getting some isolated storms, just going back up here towards Southern Missouri. Getting some isolated storms starting to develop up here, just east of Ava in Missouri. There's a few storms up that way. So basically, this is all that's really happening at the moment is down in parts of Texas into Louisiana. There we go. All right, Ringgold to Jamestown to Freiburg in Louisiana. This storm is looking the look, starting to look the look. Not looking, not liking this for sure. But we'll keep monitoring it. Ruston. I don't know if anybody's near Ruston or knows anybody around in Louisiana, but there is probably a ton of wind coming in there. There may be some damage coming through there as well. So if you're in Monroe or West Monroe, you're going to be up next here shortly over the next 45 minutes to an hour or so. New severe thunderstorm warning over towards Queen City, Bloomberg. This is in Texas, and over towards Arkansas, Folk. Sorry. Hopefully, I'm saying some of these town names right. Like I said, the most destructive storm right now. Actually, this has been downgraded to just a 60-mile-per-hour severe thunderstorm warning. So that's good news. This storm produced a lot of wind damage and power outages back here towards Killeen, Temple, and Waco, Texas earlier. Some counties are 30%, over 30 to 40% out of power. A lot of these counties along the track here. So it's been a very active spring so far. I mean, it's just tons of tornadoes. I believe Iowa's now probably going to be over 100 tornadoes now for the year so far. That is just crazy. And they still have their severe weather season's really going to start. I mean, their severe weather season goes through June. So just not good news there. Tons of damage up that way. So in central Arkansas, you're basically there's nothing going on. There's going to be some storms possibly pop up as we go in through the night. So some spotty storms here and there. Um, this depends on where this complex. There's going to be a complex develop out here towards Oklahoma, possibly as we go into early morning. We'll just have to see how that plays out. But I think all the severe weather is going to be south of you into parts of Louisiana into Texas. All right, so this thing, like I said, we have a lot of followers in West Monroe and Monroe here. So we're going to track this storm out just to give you a kind of a timeline when that's going to happen. Oh, give me just a second. That's not what I want. So looks like next 30 to 40 minutes is going to hit West Monroe. Northern parts of Monroe. Next 40 minutes or so. So you'll probably get another severe thunderstorm warning for that area very soon. You've already dealt with a lot of storms that way tonight. So, like I said, there's going to be just trains and trains of storms here. I said northeastern parts of Louisiana has been hit most of the day, or actually this evening. And then more, you get a little bit of a break, and then here comes more storms, and you're gonna get a little bit of break, and here comes another storm, another break, and then you got more storms coming out of Texas. So there could be a lot of rain, could be a flash flooding situation tonight across basically the I-20 corridor from Shreveport all the way through Monroe to over to maybe towards Vicksburg as we go throughout the night. Those of you still joining me, how's your screen look? Does it look pretty blurry? Is it blurry or is it pretty clear? I'm just trying to test some things out to make it clear for you all, try to make you have a better experience for you all while we're doing these lives. Okay, good. Melba, where are you at in northeastern Louisiana by chance? Anyways, if you're now joining us, there is six severe thunderstorm warnings, mostly in Texas and Louisiana. Rusk, Shelby, and Panola County in Texas. Uh, Bineville, Webster Parish in Louisiana. Hill and Navarro County in Texas. Lincoln, Jackson, Union, and Ouachita Parish in Louisiana. They're all severe thunderstorm warnings. Cass, Bowie, Miller. This is in Texas and Arkansas. And there's actually a severe thunderstorm warning up in Pennsylvania and Ohio as well. But this is the one that's basically skirting I-20. It's going through Ruston. It may have uh, may have brought 60 plus mile per hour winds through Ruston just a little bit ago. It has its eye set on West Monroe next. Yeah, you're getting crushed up there right now. Like I said, you have a storm over you now, up here towards the Pioneer area. Just nasty heavy rain. It's going to continue, and then it's going to have a little tiny break, and then more storms going to be coming right at you. Like I said, there's going to be a flash flood threat out that way. In fact, let me see if there's. Let me turn that on actually. So there's already flood warnings out, even for the Monroe area. Flash flooding. This is for Lincoln Parish, Ouachita Parish, and Union Parish till midnight. It says between 1 to 3 inches of rain has fallen. Additional rainfall amounts of 1 to 2 inches are possible between now and midnight. And with all these storms continuing to come through the area, I think there's going to be more than 1 or 2 inches. Same way in Morehouse Parish, 2 to 4 inches of rain have already fallen. This is as of 8:47. Additional amounts of 2 to 3 inches are possible um, through 11:45. Like I said, not good news. We have a flash flood warning up here as well in parts of El Dorado, Arkansas, down towards Spearsville, Louisiana. Another 1 to 3 inches. 1 to 3 inches have already fallen here. Go towards Shreveport. Flash flooding is occurring. This is at 8:25. 1 to 3 inches of rain have fallen. Additional amounts of 1 to 2 inches possible through 10:45. I am really shocked there's not a flood watch out, flash flood watch out for northern parts of Louisiana with all this training of storms that's happening. Kind of shocked on that one. Daniel, I'm telling you, we need to calm down because at this, I mean, we keep going with this, and we're already expecting a very nasty hurricane season as well, which I've shared with supporters since the middle of March. Um, in fact, I can pull that up real quick. Got to find the graphic. Anyways, if you're just now joining us, there's severe thunderstorms ongoing with flash flood threat across northern parts of Louisiana into parts of Texas. There it is. Here's the hurricane forecast we put out in middle of March for supporters, and this is still a good bet. I think we may be. I'll be honest with you, we may be underdoing it. So we're thinking 23 to 28 named storms in the Atlantic Basin, 11 to 16 hurricanes, and 6 to 9 major hurricanes. That's category 3 or higher. This is just for the Atlantic Basin. We're expecting a very active Caribbean up towards the Gulf this year and along the eastern seaboard as well. Sea surface temperatures are already, and July temperatures in the main development region in the Atlantic, and basically it's almost like bathwater already in the Gulf. So it's just not good. And then we're heading towards La Nina right now, which means we're going to have less shear coming through the Caribbean. El Nino brings a lot of upper level winds through that area, and now it's going to be slacking off into um, La Nina. Shear the upper level winds will kind of calm down, and then it's just right for a really nasty hurricane season. Um, Yeah, so we got to get a break on this severe weather because hurricanes and tropical season is coming up quickly for sure. So there's your like I said, this has been out. This forecast has been out since middle of March for supporters, and this is your first look on it. I was going to put it up on June 1st, which is the first day of hurricane season for the Atlantic Basin. But here you go. Very above average season, really above average season we're expecting. There's some very high winds, basically going towards Downsville or towards Terrell. This is Louisiana. At least 60, 65 mile per hour winds possible, especially up here towards Downsville, the Terrells. Soon probably came through Cedarton a little bit ago. If this radar's up, that is horrible. So I'm expecting probably a new severe thunderstorm warning will be coming out soon for Monroe, West Monroe to Monroe here very shortly. Like I said, this storm is barreling down I-20. And then after you're done with this, you got another one right behind it. If you're in the Shreveport area, you're about to get hit again with another line of storms to come in. So that's going to renew the flood threat across Shreveport. So very nasty line of storms coming in. There's no warnings as of right now, but there's going to be some gusty winds with this line of storms that's coming in. Probably 40, 50 mile per hour winds is possible. In fact, you do have a special weather statement out. Yeah, gust up to 40 miles per hour with half-inch hail, but would not be surprised to see 50 mile per hour winds. Do have some severe thunderstorm warnings still for parts of Texas as more storms try to develop here just south of Dallas. We're talking Whitney over towards Hubbard to Dawson. Um, Basically, it's severe thunderstorm warned because of hail. So, half-dollar size hail over towards Whitney, possibly over towards Hillsboro. Said with this the nasty lines of storms that came through just south of Dallas, Waco, over towards Jacksonville, Tyler, Texas. Lots of power outages. You know, it kind of reminds me of 2011 a little bit, but tornadoes and stuff have been further north. A lot of tornadoes been further north into Iowa. Texas had a lot of tornadoes as well. So there's been some big tornadoes in Oklahoma. It's just been kind of all over the place. That high, I tell you what, that what's saving grace towards the southeastern United States has been a high pressure kind of battling. So Natchitoches Parish basically got nothing going on right now. But that is probably going to change as these storms come out of Texas. I think you have a severe thunderstorm watch until 11 o'clock or midnight. Monroe, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning now. Quarter size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. Union Parish, Ouachita Parish, till 10:45. 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter size hail. Saying hail damage to vehicles is expected. So Monroe to Claiborne, West Monroe, Brownsville, Richwood, Sterlington, Drew, Fairbanks, Perryville, Millhaven, Pine Grove, Deshard, all under severe thunderstorm warning. I said it's starting to come into West Monroe here in any minute. Shreveport, you're getting smacked with heavy rain again, possibly some small hail and some 40 to 50-mile-per-hour winds. Like I said, that's just going to renew the flood threat across Shreveport and northern parts of Louisiana with these training of storms. So just mostly general severe thunderstorms, severe thunderstorm warning right now. There's no tornado tags or anything. Just general severe thunderstorm warnings right now. So Cindy, you talking about Nixa? Let's go up that way. There was basically nothing going on. There's been a few storms trying to develop, but those are dying out pretty quick. There's another one trying to develop over towards Mountain View. That's a ways away from you. But I'm going to go through future radar here and the severe weather outlooks just again here in just a little bit. We do have a lot of followers down in northern parts of Louisiana, so I'm staying with this coverage just for a little bit longer, especially as the storm's getting into Monroe. We don't want nothing to get out of hand on this. So, and then I'll go over future radar and I'll go over all the severe weather threats over the next 4 days. So Nixa, you're gonna have a severe weather threat probably tomorrow again, and then a tiny break on Friday, but there's still some storms expected. More severe weather Saturday, more severe weather on Sunday in southern Missouri. If you're now joining us, there is a ton of training of storms through northern Louisiana into parts of southern Arkansas. This is basically the leftovers of what happened back here in Texas earlier with a lot of straight line wind damage back down through here. There's a lot of power outages throughout parts of Texas from Killeen to Waco over towards Jacksonville, uh, Nacogdoches, even Jacksonville. I think there's 11% out of power in that county, almost 20% in that county. So there's a lot of power outages. And there's more storms developing back here as well, which is not good news. So here's the storms that are trying to develop just north of Waco. Shreveport, you're getting pounded with very heavy rain again. Like I said, that's going to renew the flood threat throughout that area. Like I said, Monroe's under severe thunderstorm warning for another 35 minutes. 60-mile-per-hour winds possible coming into the city here shortly. So let's take a look at storm reports just from today. This is preliminary, of course. Blow this up for you guys. So there's been 3 tornado reports back here in Texas. There's been 163 wind reports, 124 hail reports. Like I said, this is all preliminary as of today. My total reports 290 severe weather reports. Anywhere on the squares or the triangles, that's high wind reports greater than about 74 miles an hour. And then large hail reports greater than 2 inches in diameter. There's been several of those back in through parts of Texas. And so this is preliminary. So this number will definitely go up. Take a look at yesterday. All right, so here's yesterday. 26 tornado reports, 292 wind reports, 72 hail reports, 390 total total reports yesterday, and most of those tornadoes were up in Iowa with those very very devastating tornadoes coming through parts of just basically wiping towns off maps up there. Just unbelievable damage up that way. Lots of big high wind reports in excess of 74 miles an hour up in northeastern parts of Iowa yesterday. Yeah, Chance, I don't know if you just joined us, but I showed the hurricane forecast just a little bit ago because I was saying that we need to get a break here because hurricane season is going to be roaring soon. So we're expecting a pretty severe hurricane season coming up with basically the Caribbean to the Gulf is going to be highly impacted, we think. Around central parts of Louisiana, there's really nothing going on at the moment, but there is storms starting to develop and slowly coming south. But I think the flooding threat is going to be across northern parts of the state. There's already been flash flood warnings across northern parts of Louisiana and into parts of Texas and southern Arkansas. So we have a lot of followers out of Monroe. So you're a severe thunderstorm warning for another 30 minutes or so, up to 60-mile-per-hour winds, and of course, very blinding heavy rain. It's going to renew the flood threat for that county and that area. And this continues to skirt down I-20 going east. Like I said, Shreveport, you're getting hammered with very heavy rain again. That's going to renew the flood threat there. And then that's basically it. It's kind of the severe thunderstorm warnings are kind of dying down now. It's going to be a basically general thunderstorm kind of night. Very heavy rains, some gusty winds, maybe some small hail. Then our attention turns to tomorrow and Sunday. I think is going to be the most significant day for significant severe weather. That's going to be up in northeastern parts of Arkansas, the boot heel of Missouri, up to Tennessee and Kentucky. I know we're 4 or 5 days away from that, but things could change. But that is looking like a doozy of a day. And that'll be the last severe weather day for a little bit, but it's going to go out with a bang, I think, which is not good news. All right, let's go. Let's turn all this stuff off real quick and go through future radar, and then we'll go over the severe weather threats again. Alrighty. All right, here's the latest HRRR 02Z. So here's basically the rest of tonight. And then as we get towards 5 o'clock in the morning, there's going to be some scattered storms around. Maybe some storminess from Fort Smith over towards Russellville. Scattered storms across northern and southern Arkansas, maybe southwest of St. Louis. And then as we get towards 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, there could be some storminess around Hot Springs. So Little Rock to Jonesboro over towards just north of Memphis. And then more storms developing in just south of Dallas as we go into tomorrow afternoon. And then more storminess across northern Louisiana. So you've had a general 2 or 1 to 3 inches across northern Louisiana just this evening, with another 1 to 3, possibly 4 tonight, and then more rain, more storms coming tomorrow. So there's going to be some major flooding across parts of eastern Texas into northern Louisiana and southern Arkansas before all this is said and done. All right. So let's take a look at the severe weather for tomorrow, for the rest of tonight and tomorrow. Give me just a second. I'm trying to pull it up. All right, this is the rest of tonight. So, slight risk of severe storms across parts of Texas into northern Louisiana, far southern Arkansas. Marginal risk, basically everywhere else in Arkansas, southeastern Missouri, with some pop up storms here and there, all the way up towards Kentucky and Ohio. And this is just for the rest of tonight. We go in through tomorrow. Slight risk, basically, for all of Arkansas, southeastern or southwestern Missouri, most of Oklahoma, northern parts of Texas, uh, Kansas into Nebraska. A lot of this up in Nebraska, Kansas, and parts of Oklahoma will be later in the day, or into the night tomorrow night. So it'll be a big wind threat and a big hail threat all the way from Nebraska all the way down towards Oklahoma for tomorrow. And then as we get into Friday, a little break. I mean, a little break. There's still some severe weather that could happen. It's marginal at the moment. Arkansas, Missouri, up to Illinois, to Indiana, and parts of Tennessee and Kentucky. And then the severe weather really starts ramping up Saturday afternoon. Uh, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, into Texas yet again. All modes of severe weather will be possible. And then the very last day that we may see severe weather could be a doozy across northeastern Arkansas, southeastern Missouri, western to northwestern parts of Tennessee, western Kentucky, southern Illinois, and southwestern Indiana. There could be a tornado outbreak this day at the moment. So Sunday is going to be the last day, probably, for severe weather for a little bit. So stay tuned on that. All right, so that's the latest. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll probably be live throughout most of the weekend, here and there. So just stay up to date with us. We'll have posts over on Facebook as well, and we'll have streams, live streams on Facebook and on YouTube as well. Thanks so much for watching. Stay safe out there. Like I said, there's going to be a flooding threat, big time flooding threat across northern Louisiana and southern Arkansas and eastern Texas as we go throughout tonight. So stay safe out there. Stay weather aware. And if you encounter a flooded roadway, turn around and don't drown. We don't want any of you getting yourself or your family putting yourself in harm's way there. So have a great evening, everyone. We will be in touch.